I feel a deep sense of imposter syndrome every time I have to introduce myself and my current job title, but hi, my name is Job and I am a creative designer. A few months ago, I quit my stable teaching job to pursue a wild dream to work as a designer for one of my favorite stationery companies. I packed a suitcase and moved to SoCal, and since moving, I've been learning each day about the stationery world and about how I can grow as a designer. Today, I wanted to share a little glimpse of my day-to-day work that isn't just me slumped over my laptop for 8 hours. The day is Thursday, March 28th, and we're headed to Gastown. And I know what you're thinking, Gastown isn't in Long Beach, but I was back in Vancouver for a few weeks in March for my mom's birthday. Today's first stop was a quick morning meeting at Revolver Coffee to meet my new friends Chris and Take. Side note, this song has been on repeat like forever. Some people have been asking me, do you work for Plotter USA or Travelers Company USA? And the fun fact is that both of them are actually under the Design Fill America umbrella. So since I work for Design Fill America, I work for both brands. And through working for those brands, I've actually had a chance to meet so many cool people.
It's that shift, so it doesn't change anything.
I didn't notice any difference. It's still sharp as day.
I've been a big fan of Chris and Take's YouTube channel for the longest time, and their love for film photography and cameras is so inspiring. I gotta say thank you to Take because following his YouTube channel, Big Head Taco Head, totally inspired me back in 2014 to purchase my first Fujifilm X-T1, and I've been a Fujifilm shooter ever since. And it was so cool to actually learn that both of them are Plotter users. And so in this meeting, I got a chance to create some content with them for Plotter USA. In my job, I actually create a lot of photography content, and I think a lot of graphic designers might be cringing at that because that's not really a normal part of the job. But I think my role as a creative designer has been a lot more flexible because for me, photography is one of my hobbies and passions, and it's so cool that I get to intersect that love for taking photographs into my day-to-day work, and it's not just all about illustration and making graphics. I would have loved to just talk about coffee, cameras, and stationery for the rest of the day, but I actually had to go to my next appointment. I just met with Chris and Take. Now I'm in Chinatown. I'm shooting Mizuhiki and Yosegi charms. And yeah, I don't know if I can vlog much, but I took a photo here, and we're gonna head to the Sun Yat Sen Gardens after, because our concept is like nature for the Yosegi. It was raining and super gloomy, but I had to shoot this campaign now since we've planned it months in advance, and the Chinese gardens matched our theme of nature and interconnectedness for the Mizuhiki and Yosegi charms. I'm not the biggest writer, but I have come to enjoy it sometimes, and writing the blog article for this campaign was actually really fun, and I wanted to read to you one of the captions that I wrote for the article that got cut out because it was a little too flowery, but here it goes. This unique experience, appreciating the art of the garden and seeing the reflection of our charm in its design, deepened our understanding of the bonds we share with each other and the world around us. It reaffirmed the values that lie at heart of our Traveler's Factory Yosegi and Mizuhiki charms: unity, interconnectedness, and a deep appreciation for the beauty that lies in every detail. Okay, poet. Okay, Ruby Core. Okay, anyways, that didn't make it into the final blog post, but if you want to read it, I'll leave it in the description bar if you want to read the more tamed version. But I really enjoy trying to get creative with my writing for this job, and I didn't know that I would enjoy writing copy, but it is one of those things that I love when I'm in the zone, but when I have to do it for work, it sometimes irks me. But I really enjoyed shooting the Mizuhiki and the Yosegi charms, and I really enjoyed trying to capture the beauty of both the charms and the gardens at the same time. I think it was a little bit of a difficult task because I was really hoping for some nice golden afternoon light, but since it was quite gloomy, it did provide a nice even lighting, and honestly shooting when it's cloudy is the best anyways. But I really was hoping for some beautiful sun because the cherry blossoms were out too, and I was hoping to enjoy some personal photos at like the parks as well, but we didn't get a chance to. So here are some lovely gloomy video shots of the cherry blossoms while I was in Vancouver. By the time that I finished shooting photos in Chinatown, it was almost 2 p.m. and I know that I had a meeting at 3:30, so I had to take my lunch break. And luckily enough, Marugame Udon, which just opened, was actually nearby and the wait wasn't too long, so I got a comforting bowl of udon since I did get a little bit wet. Every time I'm at food halls or places where you add food to your tray and then pay at the end, I always get a little bit mixed up because my brain thinks that we're at a buffet and I end up adding so much to my plate, and then when I pay, I get shocked at the bill. But luckily I finished everything and everything was pretty tasty considering that this is kind of fast food level quality udon, and it was still delicious though. But I had to go to a coffee shop because I had a meeting and I didn't think I would make it all the way back home to take that call. So I went to a coffee shop called Saunter to do a little bit of work and then to go into my virtual meeting. At Designville, we have meetings on Monday mornings and then Friday afternoons, but this was a Thursday and I think we had a few people off on Friday, so we had our win session or our Friday meeting on a Thursday instead. It was quick and we just wrapped up everything that we needed to discuss about this week and talked about what needs to get done next week. And then I started the task of importing all the photos into Lightroom and starting editing all of the photos that I'm going to use for the article and campaign. Today was a very photo heavy day, and some would say that this is more of a photographer role, but on some days I get to work on graphics and whatnot. But I feel like every day has been different, and that's one thing that's been super exciting for me as a new designer. I feel like I've gotten a lot more proficient with Lightroom and Photoshop, but I think one of my goals in this upcoming year, or at least in 2024, is to get better with using Illustrator because it is so daunting, and I feel like I end up doing tasks that are better suited for Illustrator on Photoshop, and it slows down my workflow. So that's a little bit of something that I want to work on as a designer. I ended up working the rest of my day at this coffee shop, and it was nice and relaxing, and although it was a little bit chilly, I enjoyed being surrounded by the colder weather since it's always so nice and warm in SoCal. It started to rain by the time that I needed to go home, but it was just the perfect sign to go home and cozy up to a warm dinner and a warm cup of tea. But that pretty much sums up my day as a designer. Every day is different, but I just wanted to take you along and show you what it's been like for me in the past few months. It's crazy to think that I'm almost gonna be at Designville for a year, but I just want to thank everyone who has helped me in this journey and has even made this whole job transition possible. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you and your support. while journaling about our fun day trip to Gastown and Chinatown today, I thought I would share 3 big realizations slash 3 things that I learned since starting this new job of mine. I think the first thing I want to say is that I didn't realize how big of a change it really would be. Going from teaching to design has been wild. There's been so much learning, and obviously there's a lot of transferable skills, but I didn't realize how big of a switch it would be, and it was a big transition among the many transitions that I've had to deal with, like moving and the heat and the weather and living alone. I think the work transition wasn't too bad, but as I continue working, I realize how different this job is, and I do want to say that I do miss teaching. I don't think I'm ready to come back to teaching. There's so much that I want to do and learn still in this position, but I do love seeing the kids and the really big social aspect that teaching has kind of been in my life. I have been extremely introverted ever since moving to Long Beach because I spend a lot of time alone and I work alone. We do have a lot of meetings, and I am in office a lot too, but a lot of it is still spent like alone because when you're teaching, you're always with students. So that's one thing that I had to learn and adjust to. And then the real big realization that I had is that Travelers Company USA and Plotter USA is such a small brand. I think some people think that it is this huge thing and that we distribute to all the partner shops, but it's a small ragtag team. There's only 5 of us, and obviously we're gonna grow more and manifesting that it'll grow more, but it has been a small team and we do a little bit of everything, like taking photographs one day and then designing things one day, and then we are at pen shows and doing physical events. It's a lot and it's super cool, but I think there's a lot of stationery stores that we love to follow online that are actually much bigger than us. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. It was so interesting to realize how small it is. And I think in hand with that, I wanted and still do have really big dreams and aspirations for what I want to do during my time at Designville. But we are such a small team, and we are dictated by our Japan team counterparts. And not to go into too much detail, and obviously this is like work stuff, I can't share everything with you guys, but there have been a lot of things that I had to learn about how, our relationship with the Japan team works. And I can count on my hands the amount of designs that I have created that have passed on and have been approved by the Japan team, and I don't want to say hundreds, it's not hundreds, but there's so many other things that have been rejected. And I think going into this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna design this washi tape or something, but obviously that's not the case, and I'm still gonna try. Me, Capricorn Job, triple Capricorn Job, never will stop pitching ideas and trying to put my fun, I guess, look on things. But I think part of me is trying not to get too bogged down by the amount of rejection that I have felt, not with my team personally, but with the greater landscape and the greater team that we all work with. It's been nice though, because I think working for Job's Journal, I'm the boss of my own, I guess, company. It's not a company, but manifesting, but it's a lot of designing for myself and what I want to do and what the patrons and what you guys want to see. But you guys have been so supportive with anything that I've wanted to do, so I've been spoiled in that sense. So going into this more corporate world, not everything that I want to do obviously gets approved. So that was one thing. It wasn't a rude awakening, but it's definitely changed my perspective on the amount of change that I'm hoping for the company, because it can only change so much because we have greater structures that are beyond us that we can't change. I'm trying to be so I'm not dancing around it. There's nothing like, there's no tea or anything, but it's just the reality of it all. I think that's just how it works in any like corporate setting. I don't want to say this is a corporate setting, but any like non-government public job, like my teaching job, which was unionized and everything. But yeah, I feel safe and like very at home and calm and happy with my team, and I love going to work every day, and I feel excited, and I am, tired sometimes, but I'm still excited to take on the day and to learn each day. And I guess the third thing I kind of touched on already, but rejection has been the one thing that I've been trying to get used to, because again, lots of ideas in this small brain, but not all of them make it into the real world or comes into fruition. But I'm manifesting that the more that I learn and the more that I grow as a designer and as a creator and as a photographer and videographer and illustrator and everything, on all the hats that I wear, I hope that you'll see more of the things that I get to make in products and campaigns and whatnot. But I've been having so much fun, and yeah, I'm learning so much. I learned how to edit podcasts for Plotter. I've become pretty proficient with a lot of design software. I'm slowly trying to become a better writer when I have to write articles, and I think I'm getting better at trying to separate my work and life balance, because I can actually shut my brain off with this job, because with teaching it always seems to loom in my head, and it's a blessing and a curse with teaching because it was so rewarding. Not to say that this job is not as rewarding. They both have their pluses and their cons, but with teaching, I feel like when there was a heavy day, it would resonate with me for a while. Whereas with this job, I'm like, it's just stationery, and then I log off and it's all good. And yeah, I love that my mental health, I think, has been better in a general sense. Obviously, there's been a lot of stress in my life with the move, and I have so many new white hairs. It's driving me a little bit nuts, and I feel really self-conscious about it. So if you see me, please say that the white hairs look cool. But yeah, that's the things that I've learned, and I just want to thank you all. At this point, it's almost been a year since I have moved to SoCal, and I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported Job's Journal in any capacity. Even if you're just a new viewer now, any support, whether that's through watching these videos or liking Instagram posts or supporting me directly through Patreon, it has made an incredible difference in my life, and I wouldn't have this job literally without you guys. It's one of the craziest things that I have that I get to say out loud. It's all because of the internet and because of you. So thank you for your support. I love you so much. And I think that's it. If you want to see the longer, ramblier version of this journal with me, I think it's like almost like an hour long, like less than maybe 45 minutes long. Go check out the video on Patreon. But if not, I will see you next week. I love you so much, and yeah, take care. If you made it this far into the video, please leave a coffee emoji down below, or actually no, coffee or a wood emoji, since we were in the beautiful gardens and we were looking at the Yosegi charm. So yeah, leave that in the comments down below if you want to be part of the end of video gang. Okay, I love you so much, friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.